What is up, everybody? It's Nazir here. I'm back with another podcast episode. I'm so stoked to be talking to you guys finally about UFC 308 from Abu Dhabi Etihad Arena, where we see the reigning, defending standard at 145, Ilya El Matador Tuporia, take on the current BMF title holder, Max Black Holloway. Guys, this fight is something that is going to be absolutely insane. On paper, it's the best stylistic matchup we've seen in a very long time. And these two guys are probably going to have the hardest fights of their career. And that's saying something, because Max has been around forever. Max is a veteran of the sport, yet he's still in his prime, right? He's seen the guys. He's beat the guys. He's really only had problems with Volkanovski. And that's saying something, and that pulls us right into Ilya, because Ilya and Volk aren't that much not in common, right? They're both short in stature guys. They're both more stocky guys. They both have good striking. They both have good grappling. And they both have good pressure. And Volk gave Max some real problems, and Max couldn't beat him in 3 tries. Ilya went out there and did it in 1 in phenomenal fashion. So I feel like this is a true test for Max Holloway. And there's 3 things he has to do to get through that test and beat Ilya Tuporia. The first thing that Max has to do is Max has to have good footwork. One of the things I noticed when I watched this fight with Justin Gaethje is that Max was able to get in and outside of the void phenomenally. He was able to get in, get off his combinations, and get out before Justin could react in time and get his own counter shots off. And that is going to be so important when fighting Ilya Tuporia, because Ilya is a great center fighter. You get him in there in that little box, and he's throwing, and he's great at combinations, and he's usually connecting, and the power he's throwing back as well. So Max has to watch how he's actually entering the void. He might need to throw body kicks. I would say throw body kicks, because Ilya is a boxer, and boxers usually have their hands up really, really high to protect that chin. So if you can throw body kicks, maybe get him hurt, maybe he starts to lower his hands, which gets us to the second thing that Max must do. Get Ilya out of position. If Max wants to win this fight, he has to get Ilya to consistently drop his hands and get lazy with his guard. If Max can do that by setting up body kicks, by going to the body, by going to the legs, hurting Ilya's body to get him to drop his hands so that he can go upstairs for the kill shot. That is another key thing that Max must do. If Ilya stays in his position, he's going to be comfortable for the whole fight because he doesn't tire too much. And that brings us to the third and final thing Max must do to win this fight. He must keep pressure. The one thing I seen when Ilya fought Volk is Volk was coming in, throwing one shot, getting out. He's coming and he's coming out, but he's not throwing combinations. He's only throwing 1, maybe 2 strikes. Ilya sees this. He sees this level of pressure, and Ilya thought, okay, this guy isn't trying to hurt me. He's not going for a takedown. I'm going to get him to where I want him in the octagon by pressuring him and basically walking through these single strikes until I can get him to that spot where I want him in the octagon and create that car crash scenario. So Max Holloway has to double up on his strikes. He has to stay pressuring, and he can't pressure straight in. He can't circle off too much. He has to circle slightly and then cut in and catch Ilya. This is going to be a great fight for Max Holloway, and those are the 3 things that he has to do to succeed. Now, the 3 things Ilya has to do is a little different. The first thing that I see Ilya having to do is work his jab immediately. If there was one thing that Max was struggling with against Justin Gaethje towards the latter rounds of the fight, it was Justin Gaethje's jab. He was struggling to get around it, and he was getting caught by it quite a bit. And Ilya is a boxer at heart. His jab is phenomenal, and he's able to pump it out there like it's nothing. And he's able to pump it consistently while having it being powerful to keep Max at bay and also set up his own combinations. So if he's able to work his jab from the beginning to help him control the void, it will better his chances at winning. Ilya has to also incorporate leg kicks, and the inside lead leg kick specifically. That is a kick that Max was able to get defeated by Volk by. Volk threw that kick a lot in their first fight. He threw the inside lead leg kick to Maxwell almost the whole fight. And what that kick caused Max to do is it caused him to not be able to flow through his stances as easily and give his opponents as much looks, causing Volk to be able to get the victory since Max was only fighting right dominant. Okay, so if Ilya is able to incorporate these low lead leg kicks and cause Max to only be able to only be right dominant and not be able to stance switch and get to different strikes as he would like to, it would cause Ilya to have an advantage over Max. The other thing that Ilya must do is control the void, because like I was telling you guys, Max does a great job at coming in and getting out. So Ilya has to be ready for these blitzes that Max is going to throw to him. Ilya cannot just back straight up. In some of his fights I've seen, he was getting blitzed and he's just backing straight up against the octagon. Ilya has to be able to circle off and get off his own counter strikes and maybe use this time to catch Max. Max fights very long. Sometimes his chin is exposed. Ilya can use these blitzing encounters to get off his own strikes, but he's gonna have to control the void, and he can't let Max just come right in and get out and not be able to get off his own counter shots. Guys, this is gonna be an absolutely amazing fight. I have Max Blessed Holloway. Let me know who you have in the comments. UFC 308, October 22nd.